dancing. My father was an Odikro. An Odikro is like a divisional, what they would call a divisional chief. And I remember when he was giving his speech, he said, and I've quoted this all over, all the time, that, people might ask him why there were so many girls, almost as many girls as there were boys, including his own daughter. So then he quoted a famous statement by a famous Ghanaian called Agre of Africa. And he said, when you educate a man, you educate an individual. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And I genuinely think that this kind of orientation has been part of my own outlook on the world, in the sense that I had, right from the beginning, we are not Islamic, we, the Akans, most of us are not. So that it is only later, when I came to even places like the university, where suddenly you are confronting things like, the negative attitude to women. Nobody told me when I was growing up that you can't do this because you are a woman. You can't do that because... No, it didn't exist in my background. My mother and my father, they were very easy about me. I mean, there was no apology, nothing. According to our people, you inherit your name and your soul from your father. But you inherit land, security from your mother. So this kind of balance has always been part of the ambience. It has not been deliberate, but I have done things like become a whole minister of state without telling her. She was so hurt when I accepted to become, for instance, the Secretary for Education without consulting her. Now that I'm looking back, how could I have done that? You see, she heard it on the radio. That, for instance, was not nice. But then she discussed it with me and we made up. So in this kind of atmosphere, if you have something in you too, it came out. But then I had gone to school. And since I believe that maybe talent is transferable, since I had gone to school, then some of this basic talent that was around, mine got translated into writing books. But I don't think that I'm the most, Marxist of Africa's writers. People will mention Gugi Wathiongo and other people. Yeah, but I don't know. It's the critics. You see, the critics, they will read these things and they start telling. I can't deny, I think, like I said, if people think that they can feel my socialist orientation or anti-imperialist orientation in my works, that's fine. I'm happy, yeah. Thank you.
What were your ideas?
Oh, well, basically, it was to democratize, education and make it more nationalistic. Yeah, but nationalistic in terms of more African, more Ghanaian content to education, and have more children going to school and stuff like that. Yeah,
You have called yourself a critical patriot.
Have I?
Yes.
Where did I do that?
I have seen it in some interview with you.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And I think Ghanaians, nearly the whole nation, is, are critical patriots because we are a highly politicized people. Ghanaians don't sit. People discuss, they talk, all over. We've always been like this, and I suspect we'll be like this. Ghanaians are political from when they are 3. And they are political when they are over 100. So in that respect, I am not such a unique Ghanaian. I'm just a Ghanaian.
You didn't mind being a member of a military government?
I won't answer. The thing is that, as far as I'm concerned, since we met you people 500 years ago, look at us. We've given everything. You are still taking. It's true. Where will the whole Western world be without be without Africa? Our cocoa, our timber, our gold, our diamonds, our platinum, our whatever. Everything you are is us. I am not saying it, it's a fact. And in return for all of this, what have we got? Nothing. Anti-personnel indoctrination against ourselves. If you go and cook your horrible diseases like AIDS, you say it is us. You brought us tuberculosis. We didn't have this big cough until white people came here. In exchange for Africa giving Europe 500 solid years of our people, I mean not Europe, the Western world, of our human beings to work your canes, to dig your gold, to take in gold itself, diamond, I mean, you know, fish, peanuts, palm oil, everything. In exchange for that, we have got nothing. Nothing. And you know it. Nothing. And you look upon, you know, white folks look upon us like monkeys. It is true. It's in your literature. Hey, you know, some of your best thinkers have said this about us. Have you heard of all these Germans? Have you heard?
Okay.
Yes. They said, Lord Burton, yes. People like that, they said, we don't even have the brain of animals. That's what we've got from you people.
But don't you think that this is over now?
Over where? Is it over? Who said that AIDS came from the green monkey? Is it over? Is it over?
Well, if this is your impression, do you think that you can ever forgive us?
It's not a question of forgiveness. I have nothing against you. My point is that you did and you are doing for your survival what is necessary. We can't blame you for that. The fact that we didn't do enough for our own survival and we are still not doing enough for our survival, that is not your problem. You know, even everybody that God has created has a sense of survival. You know, and if we don't develop it, we can't blame white people. You came here because you needed these things. You took gunpowder from the Chinese. You needed them to shoot people.
Do you consider AIDS as a new form of colonization?
Of course.
Why?
That's why. You know, my people, the Akans, we have a proverb. It says that good morning, thank you, is never enough to salt anybody's food forever. You cannot build your life on thank you, morning, thank you, English, thank you, God. You know, which is what aid makes, you know, we are always receiving. Nobody, look, and I don't care who hears, nobody anywhere in this world is going to send you their best of anything. Do you see? Neither the experts nor people, you give us what you can afford. Aid is the leftover, really, and it cannot be enough. But aid, you can, when, you know, the world is, now the world is one place. So, there is nothing wrong if my house is in a crisis and you offered me something. There's nothing wrong, you know, because there is interrelationship. But a whole nation, a whole continent cannot live forever on aid. And I think we are in Africa, we are in danger of making foreign aid a kind of policy that is wrong. I think that it humiliates our people. The people in the villages, have not asked anybody to go around begging on their behalf. Well, I'm being a writer, really. It is crazy. I mean, it is a very self-consuming kind of activity. You know, you sit in a room, you write, and you think that other people outside want to hear it. I mean, the tensions of, writing a book, it's tense. When you finish writing the book, you are tense because you wonder, how will the publishers and editors react to a book, to a story? Even when it's published, you wonder, why are they saying that my books are selling in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Sierra Leone, Botswana, Lesotho, even South Africa, Kenya, and I'm still so poor? So all of these issues are part of the horror, real horror, of being a woman, a writer, an African. But you don't stop writing because of any of them. You just go on. Life is like that.
So you were not a very beloved minister?
Well, I would want to think that some people liked me. You know what I mean? I think that the people whose opinions I cared for liked me. Others didn't. But you see, in a process like the one we had initiated, there were, and I believe there still may be, different forces at work. And I think that it was very necessary that at the time I make myself recognize that that time was not good, for maybe what I flattered myself I knew the country ought to have. And I also think that in a way it was also good that the government could recognize this, that I was just too much for everybody at the time.